Yo, welcome back everybody. Today we have to eat our words. We have to take a step back and say, maybe sometimes it is Nomi. Because sometimes you power level to 5, you have enablers for elementals on the board, and the game just feeds you Nomis. And chat rejoices because they constantly people in chat say, Bofur, why don't you play Nomi? Why don't you play elementals? They're like, oh, elementals aren't very good. Big stats aren't good in this meta, etc, etc. Then suddenly a game comes along and you have no choice but to play into the elementals. When you get a ton of Nomis very quickly and tons of elementals on a hero like, say for example, I don't know, Galewing, who can discover more and more stuff for it. Turns out you snowball really hard. Building gigantic 100 plus elementals very quickly in the game finishes lobbies very fast. All right, enjoy. Actually could be a 6 next turn, and when there's a ghost in the lobby, if we take an L here and we get a ghost, we could just take a 6. Dragon Elemental Murloc Pirate Naga. The way it's a 6 is that you buy the Warden of Old. Then you have the gold to sell and level. I don't think so. Nomi? Yeah, I mean, we got it. Tony's kind of interesting. For sure, Tavern Tempest is way more interesting, considering where we are in this game. Too bad we buffed this thing like a billion times. We discover a 4-star next turn and we go to 5. I don't want to take a million. Yeah, this would have been real bad with 2 8 health taunts that doesn't kill this. We would have taken a boatload. Could have taken 9 or even like 13 damage there. Instead, we drop HysteriA down. Let's see. Light Spawn. Cobalt's decent too. Do I want to keep a 2/2 on the board so that I don't buff the Tavern Tempest, or do I just want to just litter the board with stats? I think we just max out stats. There are so few of these minions on the board are actually going to stay on the board. Could be Westfall for the rock. Probably not. Discovery's too good. So we got a bunch of big game elementals. They don't exactly give us the direction of what we're doing in the game, but we have another pair, and we are on 5. On turn 7 at 37 health and relatively strong. Barring, you know, Leroy or whatever. This thing trades quite a bit of their board. It's a non-mech lobby. We just gotta buy time. Level to 6 maybe next turn, most likely a turn afterwards. If HysteriA got a ghost, then he gets to stabilize, or she gets to stabilize. Otherwise, she could die, and we could be a 6-person lobby very quickly. But it's hard for us to leverage the ghost in the game. She has a Nomi! Nomi! I want the Nomi. Well, at least we get to chunk him. 20 here. Even if we don't get anything out of the light spawn, but we were never really going to do so. I think we should change the other options we're going to make it more viable. You mean the third best hero in the game needs to be more viable? Oh my god, Chad. I don't think they need to buff a really strong hero. Can we do it? Can we Nomi? Can he play? How can she slap? I like this. I think I'd rather buy the next. Alright. Okay, yeah, okay. I talk shit about elementals. I talk shit about elementals this game, and I was like, yeah, this is why you don't play elementals. And then the game's like, I got you. You know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get all of the elemental stuff. And then you're gonna have to walk back that statement. You're gonna be like, Bofur, elementals, they're the way. Why don't we just play Nomi? Top 7 confirm? Yeah, it's more of the criticism of the 6-star elemental line, not the Nomi line. Now that being said, Nomi is really slow. The good news though is that this is a really slow lobby. No beast, no mech means that like the mid game, that Patches is dead? Oh, I don't think so. I think Patches beats us. Or at least Patches is close to us. May not beat us, but this is actually relatively strong. Like these 3 minions. It's only turn 8. Yeah, we lose here. We take 20. Patches is dead, he says. We take 20. At least we got the good cleave. Trimmed off a little bit of damage, but we still take 20. We can get a ghost now, right? Right? Nope, can't get the ghost. Boo. Eliza Mantid. As a standalone minion, Mantid's gonna be better. You just can't draw up a better Nomi game. I think we keep this. Maybe debatable to sell here. Both of them. Yeah. Like, we couldn't hit more of the stuff. Hopefully we don't die. That kind of sums up Nomi for you, doesn't it? We hit absolutely everything. Hopefully we're not dead. Freeze 1 minion for a bad elemental to cycle? Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, we started at 37 health. Golden Nomi on turn 9. Wildfires and Molten Rock Party Elemental opener, so we had like decent stats and synergy to play into the elementals. Tripled into the Mantid, the strongest single unit that we could take here, because quite frankly, we don't care about the other elementals. We just care about surviving long enough to get Nomi buff rolling. And we murder the HysteriA. Nice. Oh, I thought it was going to run into the Mantid. It was going to be so sad. The extra tribe's sort of useful for Mantid. True. A Mantid's going to stay on the board over an elemental right now. And there's your Apocalypse turn. Just a free Tavern Tempest. It's cool. Do we think we're bigger than him? If so, we shouldn't play the glow scale. I think I'm bigger than him. Love to get this triple, but it's just too expensive. We need stats on the board. I don't think either of these are on the board at the end of the turn. That may not be true. I want this triple so badly, but I don't think I want it badly enough to take a bad minion. So I'm not going to keep this on the board. We're just going to end up holding it. And a Michael. And a Michael. This thing is okay still. It's big enough. So like the buff on either one of those didn't really matter that much, but we could have cycled the Buble. It just commits the gold to the board. So this could be too bigger, but we would have had to sell that minion. No, this wouldn't be. This would not be on the board then, which we would have been okay with. Just that specific scenario worked out all right. Kind of sketchy. I'm not sure I like these adjacent to each other. Didn't end up mattering. Well, that's unfortunate for him. He died on a coin flip. Alright, so we have a pseudo pirate board, which doesn't seem like it hit anything. And the question is Omu bigger than us? Because we should be able to beat the other guy. Especially as we start rolling here. Like this kind of stuff. Gets rolling. Yep. Yep, that's a thing. We may sell this thing off the board. We may not. I think the 2-2 that we lose on this is worth looking at this first and know if we want to sell the 6-star or sell this. If we only had a little more time. I don't think we're trying to greed a genie for one elemental, considering where we are in this game. Hey, Bofur. You think one elemental is worthwhile at this point in the game? To play a 4-5 instead of your whole board? And adapt in a 21-20 or 22? So we hit basically everything for Nomi. Had to take a big chunk of damage here. This could be annoying. Could be Mantid stuff. More likely than not, though, this isn't Mantid stuff. He's only had one triple into 6 since the last time we saw him. And the likelihood that the taunt has Divine Shield is pretty high. So I'm bumping. I guess we could view this as bumping, actually. This is probably better. There's a little bit of risk of cleave, too. Alright, no bump needed. Mantid's so awkward here because if it gets taunt, it opens up the door to get griefed on cleave and such. And it has 2 adapts, so it's a pretty good likelihood that it gets taunt. Isn't Genie basically the same as the Molten Rock with these Leroys? I mean, if he has Leroy, then sure. If not, no. I don't think the adapt is worth the stats at that point. Interesting. I do like you. Bye, Nomi. It's never elementals, he says. It's rarely elementals. At this point, we're just playing for triples, right? Would I like a better thing than this? Yes. But I'm going to keep a 1277 taunt over like a 20... What was the smallest thing that we sold this turn that wasn't Nomi? A 2122? Now, it wasn't adapt for this. Casual Mega Wind Fury. Position 1 against the Dragon Board. What did Nomi do to get thrown away like that? Existed. That's what Nomi does. Nomi's used and abused, unfortunately. Way too common. So the Nomi puts all the work, and then corporate's like, we're gonna hire people for minimum wage to do your job. And meanwhile, the world keeps spinning. I see. Those hits couldn't be much worse. At least there's that. Hits at the end were pretty good. Alright, so he has Bran, 1 Calicos, big minions. Oh, she has Tappa. Interesting on the Tavern Tempest. This can be good. It can be, like, even hitting this triple is good, actually. Nomi! She's back! Or he's back! One gold 4 or 5/5 buff on a cleave. Buble. Okay. 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 Westfall, baby. Save the roll for next turn. Actually, no. We want 2 rolls. Knowing that we're playing for triples. We're just keeping that in the back. It's not like it's very good against this comp. No taunts? No taunts? That's so sad. It's never Nomi, chat. Not even once has it ever been Nomi. Never Nomi. Every time we win with Nomi, it's the same sentiment. It's never Nomi. Turns out that hitting everything for Nomi super early, pretty good. Unfortunately, we followed up a it's never elementals game. We cursor over here. Got to get into this interface. Doesn't register like the edge of the screen is the interface. Never elementals into always Nomi. Very different looking boards. Hi YouTube. Hi YouTube. I'm sure that one will end up on YouTube. You guys like the Nomi boards. Casual early golden Nomi. Make big thing. The games are just too fast for us to get.